Welcome to Life Factually. Imagine this. Turquoise waters stretching to the horizon, the sun warming your face as you sip a cocktail on deck. Cruise ships promise an idyllic escape, a floating city of luxury and leisure. Brochures tempt us with images of pristine beaches and exotic destinations, promising unforgettable experiences and endless buffets. The allure is undeniable, drawing millions to embark on these maritime adventures each year. But what lies beneath the surface of this glamorous industry? What happens to the mountains of waste generated by these floating cities? The truth, as we'll soon discover, is far less appealing than the glossy brochures suggest. Behind the facade of carefree luxury lies a dirty secret: the immense amount of waste generated by cruise ships and its devastating impact on our oceans. Every year, millions of gallons of sewage, wastewater, and solid waste are discharged from these vessels, polluting our marine ecosystems and endangering marine life. The very waters that entice us with their beauty are silently bearing the burden of our vacation choices. This essay embarks on a journey into the heart of this environmental challenge, peeling back the layers of convenience and luxury to expose the urgent issue of cruise ship waste. We'll delve into the types of waste generated, from sewage and wastewater to food scraps and plastics, and examine the existing regulations that struggle to keep pace with the industry's growth. Prepare to be shocked by the sheer volume of pollutants discharged into our oceans and the loopholes that allow this practice to continue. But this is not merely a tale of doom and gloom. Our journey will also highlight the emerging solutions and technological innovations that offer hope for a cleaner future. We'll explore how cruise lines, passengers, and policymakers can work together to mitigate the environmental impact of this industry and chart a course towards sustainable cruising. The journey towards cleaner oceans starts with awareness, and this essay aims to equip you with the knowledge to make informed choices and demand change. As we set sail on our investigation, it's crucial to understand the sheer scale and variety of waste generated by these floating metropolises. Every day, a single cruise ship, often home to thousands of passengers and crew, produces a staggering amount of refuse. While the shiny decks and opulent dining halls may paint a picture of luxury and indulgence, what remains largely hidden from view is the equally vast underbelly of waste management. Imagine for a moment the constant flow of everyday life on board: the flushing toilets, the running showers, the discarded food scraps, the endless stream of packaging. Now multiply that by the thousands of passengers and crew members on board. The result is a relentless torrent of waste, much of which ends up polluting our oceans, often with devastating consequences for marine life and coastal ecosystems. Let's start with the most unsavory yet unavoidable byproduct of human life on board Blackwater. This refers to the wastewater collected from toilets and medical facilities, a potent mixture of human waste, toilet paper, and other unsavory elements. While cruise ships are equipped to treat Blackwater before discharge, the effectiveness of these treatment systems varies significantly. Even treated Blackwater can contain harmful pathogens, bacteria, viruses, and pharmaceuticals that can contaminate marine environments. These contaminants can disrupt the delicate balance of marine ecosystems, leading to algal blooms, oxygen depletion, and the spread of diseases among marine life. In some cases, these pollutants can even make their way up the food chain, posing a potential risk to human health through the consumption of contaminated seafood. Then there's greywater, the runoff from sinks, showers, laundries, and kitchens. This may appear less harmful than Blackwater, but it carries its own set of pollutants, including detergents, soaps, shampoos, oils, and grease. These chemicals, often laden with microplastics and other harmful substances, can have detrimental effects on marine life, particularly sensitive species like corals and plankton. Imagine the impact of thousands of gallons of chemical-laden greywater being discharged daily into the ocean. It's a sobering thought, and one that highlights the urgent need for more stringent regulations and advanced treatment technologies to minimize the environmental impact of cruise ship wastewater. Moving on to a less stomach-churning yet equally significant waste stream, we arrive at food waste. Given the sheer volume of food consumed on board cruise ships, the amount of food waste generated is unsurprisingly enormous. From unfinished meals and buffet leftovers to expired ingredients and kitchen scraps, the mountains of food waste pose a significant environmental challenge. While some cruise lines have implemented composting programs, a significant portion of food waste is often ground into a slurry and discharged directly into the ocean. This practice, while seemingly innocuous, can have detrimental effects on marine ecosystems. The influx of organic matter can lead to oxygen depletion, creating dead zones where marine life struggles to survive. Moreover, the decomposition of food waste in landfills, another common disposal method, releases methane, a potent greenhouse gas that contributes significantly to climate change. This highlights the need for more sustainable food waste management practices within the cruise industry, such as reducing food waste at its source, implementing effective composting systems, and exploring alternative disposal methods like anaerobic digestion. The issue of food waste on cruise ships is not merely an environmental concern, it's also a moral one. In a world where food insecurity remains a pressing issue, the sheer amount of food wasted by the cruise industry is ethically questionable. By adopting responsible food management practices, cruise lines can not only reduce their environmental impact, but also contribute to a more sustainable and equitable food system. Finally, we come to the scourge of our modern world: plastic. From water bottles and food packaging to single-use toiletries and disposable cutlery, plastic is ubiquitous on cruise ships. While efforts are being made to reduce plastic consumption on board, the sheer scale of the industry means that plastic waste remains a significant problem. Despite the presence of recycling programs on some ships, a significant portion of plastic waste generated by the cruise industry ends up in landfills or worse, in our oceans. The environmental consequences of plastic pollution are well documented, from the entanglement and ingestion of plastic by marine life, to the breakdown of plastic into microplastics, which can contaminate the food chain and ultimately impact human health. Furthermore, the incineration of plastic waste, a common practice on cruise ships due to limited storage space, releases harmful pollutants into the air, contributing to air pollution and climate change. This underscores the urgent need for the cruise industry to transition away from single-use plastics, adopt more sustainable packaging alternatives, and implement effective waste management systems that prioritize recycling and reuse. The issue of plastic waste on cruise ships highlights the need for a systemic shift towards a circular economy, where plastic is treated as a valuable resource to be reused and recycled, rather than a disposable commodity. By embracing circular economy principles, the cruise industry can significantly reduce its plastic footprint and contribute to a cleaner, healthier planet. The idyllic image of a cruise ship gliding through pristine waters belies a harsher reality unfolding beneath the surface. The vast quantities of waste discharged from these vessels, even after treatment, have significant and far-reaching consequences for the marine environment. Coral reefs, often hailed as the rainforests of the sea, are among the most vulnerable ecosystems bearing the brunt of this pollution. Imagine a vibrant coral reef teeming with life, a kaleidoscope of colors, a bustling metropolis of marine species. Now picture this underwater paradise slowly suffocating under a blanket of algae, its once vibrant corals bleached and lifeless. This is the stark reality facing many coral reefs located near popular cruise ship routes. The excessive nutrients found in treated wastewater, particularly nitrogen and phosphorus, act as fertilizers for algae, triggering algal blooms that smother coral reefs, blocking sunlight and depriving them of essential oxygen. This process, known as eutrophication, can lead to large-scale coral death, disrupting the delicate balance of the entire reef ecosystem. Beyond nutrient pollution, the discharge of chemicals, heavy metals, and microplastics from cruise ships further exacerbates the plight of coral reefs. These pollutants can poison marine life, disrupt coral reproduction, and weaken the resilience of these delicate ecosystems, making them more susceptible to disease and climate change impacts. The environmental repercussions of cruise ship waste extend far beyond the immediate vicinity of these vessels. The oceans, vast as they may seem, are interconnected, and pollutants discharged in one area can easily travel across currents and tides, impacting marine life and coastal communities far and wide. One of the most concerning aspects of this pollution is its potential to contaminate our food chain, ultimately ending up on our plates. Fish and other marine organisms, often exposed to a cocktail of pollutants from cruise ship discharges, can accumulate these toxins in their tissues through a process known as bioaccumulation. As larger predators consume smaller contaminated prey, the concentration of these toxins increases at each trophic level, a phenomenon known as biomagnification. This means that by consuming seafood, particularly predatory fish higher up the food chain, we may be unknowingly ingesting a concentrated dose of pollutants originating from cruise ship waste. These pollutants can include heavy metals like mercury and lead, persistent organic pollutants, and microplastics, all of which have been linked to various health problems in humans. While more research is needed to fully understand the long-term health implications of consuming seafood contaminated by cruise ship waste, the potential risks are significant enough to warrant concern. It's a stark reminder that the health of our oceans is inextricably linked to our own well-being, and that polluting our seas ultimately amounts to polluting ourselves. The environmental impact of the cruise industry extends beyond water pollution, encompassing a significant carbon footprint that contributes to the growing climate crisis. While cruise ships are often marketed as a glamorous and luxurious way to travel, the reality is that these floating cities are highly energy-intensive, relying heavily on fossil fuels for propulsion, electricity generation, and onboard amenities. The sheer size of modern cruise ships, often dwarfing their predecessors, necessitates massive engines that consume vast quantities of fuel, releasing harmful greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. According to some estimates, a single large cruise ship can emit as much carbon dioxide in a week as 12,000 cars. Beyond propulsion, the energy demands of a cruise ship are immense, powering everything from air conditioning and lighting to swimming pools, casinos, and gourmet kitchens. This constant energy consumption requires onboard power plants that often burn heavy fuel oil, a particularly dirty and polluting fossil fuel. While some cruise lines are exploring alternative fuels and energy-efficient technologies, such as liquefied natural gas and shore power connections, the industry as a whole has been slow to transition away from its reliance on fossil fuels. This inertia, driven by cost considerations and a lack of regulatory pressure, has significant implications for the planet's climate, contributing to rising sea levels, ocean acidification, and more extreme weather events, all of which threaten the very destinations that make cruising so appealing. The picture painted so far may seem bleak, but it's important to remember that it's not too late to change course. The cruise industry, faced with growing public scrutiny and increasing pressure from regulators and environmental groups, is beginning to acknowledge the environmental impact of its operations and explore more sustainable practices. Technological innovations are at the forefront of this shift towards a cleaner cruise industry. Advanced wastewater treatment systems, such as membrane bioreactors and ultraviolet disinfection systems, are becoming increasingly sophisticated, removing more pollutants from wastewater before it's discharged, minimizing the risks to marine life and human health. Waste-to-energy technologies offer another promising avenue for reducing the environmental footprint of cruise ships. These systems can convert organic waste, such as food scraps and sewage sludge, into biogas, a renewable energy source that can be used to generate electricity or heat, reducing both waste and reliance on fossil fuels. These technological advancements, while encouraging, are only part of the solution. A truly sustainable cruise industry requires a fundamental shift in mindset, moving away from a culture of disposability towards a circular economy that prioritizes waste reduction, recycling, and resource efficiency. This transformation requires collaboration and commitment from all stakeholders: cruise lines, passengers, policymakers, and coastal communities, working together to chart a cleaner course towards a future where cruising and conservation can coexist. Our journey now takes us from the depths of despair to the shores of hope, where human ingenuity is rising to the challenge of cleaning up the cruise industry. While the environmental impact of cruise ship waste may seem overwhelming, a wave of technological innovations is offering a beacon of hope, promising a future where cruising can be enjoyed with a significantly lighter environmental footprint. At the heart of this transformation lies a new generation of wastewater treatment systems far more sophisticated than their predecessors. Gone are the days of rudimentary treatment methods that barely scratch the surface of pollution removal. Today, cutting-edge technologies like membrane bioreactors or MBRs are taking center stage, revolutionizing the way cruise ships manage their wastewater. Imagine a system so advanced that it can filter out pollutants at a microscopic level, leaving behind water so clean it meets the stringent standards for drinking water. That's the promise of MBR technology, which employs a combination of biological treatment and ultra-fine membrane filtration to remove virtually all contaminants from wastewater, including bacteria, viruses, pharmaceuticals, and even microplastics. But the innovations don't stop there. Ultraviolet or UV disinfection systems, often used in conjunction with MBRs, provide an additional layer of protection, bombarding treated wastewater with UV light to neutralize any remaining harmful pathogens, ensuring that what's discharged back into the ocean is as close to pristine as possible. While advanced treatment systems tackle the issue of wastewater pollution, another technological marvel is emerging to address the dual challenges of waste management and fossil fuel dependence waste-to-energy systems. This ingenious approach transforms what was once considered a liability, waste, into a valuable resource, energy. Picture this. Instead of ending up in landfills or being incinerated, food scraps, sewage sludge, and other organic waste streams are fed into a system that mimics nature's own recycling process, anaerobic digestion. Inside these oxygen-free chambers, microorganisms break down the organic matter, producing biogas, a renewable energy source composed primarily of methane. This biogas, often dubbed green energy from garbage, can then be used to power various onboard systems, from lighting and ventilation to heating and even propulsion in some cases. By harnessing the energy potential of their own waste, cruise ships can significantly reduce their reliance on fossil fuels, curbing their greenhouse gas emissions and lessening their contribution to climate change. Norway, a country renowned for its stunning fjords and its commitment to environmental sustainability, is leading the way in waste-to-energy innovation in the cruise industry. Several Norwegian cruise lines have already incorporated these systems into their ships, showcasing the viability of this technology and reducing the environmental impact of cruising. While technological advancements offer a glimmer of hope, the journey towards a truly sustainable cruise industry requires more than just engineering marvels. Passengers, too, have a crucial role to play, wielding the power of their wallets and their voices to steer the industry in a greener direction. Imagine a world where passengers, armed with information and empowered to make conscious choices, become a driving force for change, demanding more sustainable practices from the cruise lines they choose to patronize. This shift in consumer behavior is already underway, with a growing number of travelers prioritizing environmental responsibility when planning their holidays. The first step towards sustainable cruising lies in choosing your cruise line wisely. Opt for companies that have a proven track record of environmental stewardship, those that have invested in advanced wastewater treatment systems, waste reduction programs, and energy-efficient technologies. Look for certifications like Green Marine and Blue Flag, which denote a commitment to environmental best practices. Once on board, passengers can continue to make a difference through their everyday choices. Refuse single-use plastics like straws, water bottles, and shopping bags, opting instead for reusable alternatives. Support onboard recycling programs and be mindful of your water and energy consumption. Every small action multiplied by thousands of passengers can have a ripple effect, sending a powerful message to the cruise industry that sustainability matters. While technological innovations and passenger activism are essential drivers of change, the role of policymakers in setting and enforcing environmental regulations remains paramount. Governments, through legislation and international agreements, have the power to establish a level playing field, ensuring that all cruise lines adhere to stringent environmental standards. Imagine a world where discharging untreated wastewater into the ocean is not just morally reprehensible, but also illegal, where cruise ships are held accountable for their environmental footprint, and where sustainable practices are not just an option, but a requirement. This vision of a cleaner cruise industry is not a distant utopia, but a tangible goal within reach. France, a country renowned for its picturesque coastline and its commitment to environmental protection, has emerged as a leader in this regard. In 2017, France announced an ambitious plan to achieve zero discharge from cruise ships in its waters by 2025, setting a precedent for other nations to follow. This bold initiative includes investing in shoreside infrastructure for wastewater treatment and waste reception, as well as implementing stricter regulations on discharges. Across the Atlantic, Alaska, a state famed for its pristine wilderness and its reliance on tourism, has long been at the forefront of regulating the cruise industry. Alaska's stringent wastewater discharge standards, among the most stringent in the world, have served as a model for other cruise destinations seeking to protect their fragile ecosystems. These regulations, while initially met with resistance from the industry, have proven to be effective in reducing the environmental impact of cruising in Alaskan waters. As we've journeyed through the murky depths of cruise ship waste and explored the promising solutions on the horizon, one crucial element remains: you, the passenger. Your choices, as a discerning traveler seeking both adventure and responsibility, hold immense power in shaping the future of the cruise industry. Imagine a world where cruise lines, vying for your business, compete not just on luxury and entertainment, but on their environmental track record. Picture brochures boasting not just about lavish buffets, but about advanced wastewater treatment systems and waste-to-energy innovations. This vision of a greener cruise industry hinges on the collective power of passengers making informed and ethical choices. Before booking your next cruise holiday, take the time to research the environmental policies and practices of different cruise lines. Don't be swayed solely by glossy brochures and enticing deals. Delve deeper, seeking out companies that are transparent about their waste management practices, their efforts to reduce their carbon footprint, and their commitment to protecting marine life. Look for certifications like Green Marine, an independent environmental certification program for the maritime industry, and Blue Flag, an international eco-label awarded to beaches and marinas that meet strict environmental standards. These certifications serve as indicators of a company's commitment to sustainability, providing you with the assurance that your holiday choices align with your environmental values. Your commitment to sustainable cruising doesn't end with choosing an eco-conscious cruise line. Once on board, your everyday actions, seemingly small and insignificant, can collectively create a ripple effect, transforming the culture of consumption on cruise ships and sending a powerful message to the industry. Imagine a cruise ship where single-use plastics are a relic of the past, where reusable water bottles and coffee cups are the norm, and where buffet tables are laden with locally sourced, sustainably caught seafood. This vision of a zero-waste cruise experience, while ambitious, is not beyond the realm of possibility. Start by making simple yet impactful choices. Refuse plastic straws, water bottles, and shopping bags, opting instead for reusable alternatives. Bring your own toiletries in refillable containers to minimize plastic waste. Participate in onboard recycling programs, and be mindful of your water and energy consumption, just as you would at home. Engage with the crew, expressing your appreciation for their sustainability efforts, and inquiring about the ship's environmental policies. Your positive reinforcement can go a long way in fostering a culture of sustainability on board, and sending a clear message to the cruise line that their efforts are valued by their passengers. Your journey towards a cleaner cruise industry doesn't end when you disembark. Your experiences, your observations, and your values can serve as powerful catalysts for change, influencing not just your own travel choices, but also those of others. By amplifying your voice, you can become an advocate for a more sustainable cruise industry. Imagine a world where cruise ship waste is no longer a dirty secret, where travelers are well informed about the environmental impact of their choices, and where cruise lines are held accountable for their practices. This vision of transparency and accountability requires a collective voice, one that speaks up for the health of our oceans and the future of sustainable travel. Share your experiences with friends, family, and colleagues, raising awareness about the issue of cruise ship waste and the importance of choosing eco-conscious cruise lines. Use social media to amplify your message, sharing photos and stories from your sustainable cruise adventures and tagging the cruise lines you support. Contact your elected officials, urging them to support policies that promote sustainable cruising, such as stricter regulations on wastewater discharge, investment in shoreside power infrastructure, and incentives for cruise lines to adopt cleaner technologies. Your voice, combined with that of countless others, can create a groundswell of support for change, transforming the cruise industry from within and ensuring a cleaner, healthier future for our oceans. As we conclude our voyage into the often unseen world of cruise ship waste, we find ourselves at a crossroads. The image of carefree luxury clashes with the stark reality of environmental damage, leaving us with a profound sense of responsibility. The sheer volume of waste generated by these floating cities, from sewage and plastics to food scraps and greenhouse gases, paints a sobering picture of the impact our pursuit of leisure can have on the planet. Yet, amidst the concern, a glimmer of hope emerges. Technological innovation, like a skilled engineer tirelessly working below deck, offers a beacon of light. Advanced wastewater treatment systems capable of transforming sewage into near-pristine water are already in operation. Waste-to-energy technologies promise to turn yesterday's trash into tomorrow's fuel, reducing both pollution and reliance on fossil fuels. These advancements, however, are only as effective as their implementation. Cruise lines must be held accountable for adopting these solutions, not as a matter of choice, but as a fundamental responsibility towards our shared environment. But technology alone cannot steer us towards a sustainable future. We, the passengers, must become more than passive consumers of luxury. Our choices, from the cruise lines we patronize to our onboard habits, have the power to shift the industry's course. By demanding transparency, supporting eco-conscious companies, and embracing sustainable practices, we become active participants in the journey towards a cleaner cruise industry. The path forward requires a collective effort, a shared voyage involving cruise lines, passengers, policymakers, and coastal communities. Imagine a future where cruise ships, once symbols of excess and pollution, become models of sustainability, gliding through pristine waters with minimal impact on the marine environment. This vision, though ambitious, is achievable if we all commit to charting a cleaner course, one that prioritizes the health of our oceans and ensures that the allure of cruising doesn't come at the cost of our planet's well-being. Subscribe to Life Factually for more topics like this.